Good morning, Bulldogs. My name is Tim Hucal, and I am the owner of Hucal Ponderosa Customs.
Prior to pitch at Onslow, I had a very vague understanding of what starting a business was, maintaining a business, the things that are required to keep up a business. However, I was missing certain parts, and for a year or better, I had been doing what a lot of normal people do this day and age, a lot of research. I contact certain companies, or I've contacted certain county clerk offices asking questions, never really getting the right answer. I went to Boots to Business. We got a lot of information about if we wanted to go into the entrepreneurship world, what that looks like, some of the processes, but it was really like wave time. During that Boots to Business, April Priester walks in and announces that within the next 10 days, the application process for Pitch at Onslow was opening and what it was about. Came home, told my wife about it, and I'm like, hey, there's this small business competition thing. If anything, it'd be a good opportunity. Well, life kind of happened, and I legitimately lost interest in Pitch It. A friend of mine who's also an entrepreneur, I said, why are you not just going to go for it? What's the worst that could happen? So I told my wife, and she's like, just do it. At least if anything, you'll gain the education. So I had a friend of mine do my submission video for me. We sat out here in a very similar platform. I think the day before is when I submitted it. It was a very, very last minute thing. I absolutely appreciated the platform, the way the curriculum was laid out, all the way leading up to what was the pitch and the day of the award ceremony. I was just super thankful and grateful to have had that opportunity. First week was very different because you don't know what the other people in the competition have in mind. At first glance, everybody was kind of hesitant to communicate because it's like, is my idea what you have as an idea? There was a little bit, I will say maybe animosity a little bit. It was kind of cool. Second week, things got kind of into I would say a routine because everybody was doing the same type of homework, the products that we were having to create each day in the class or throughout the week. And so when you come in the second week and you start discussing, and the way that the courses ran is really neat. It is legitimately a build-up from essentially nothing, just an idea, to having a business plan at the end, a financial capability of at least an understanding, and a business plan that as you go into that business gets fine-tuned and tweaked a little bit more and truly becomes you. I was done with the overall platform by week 3. And the rest of the course was me fine-tuning it as I learned certain things. So my business plan and structure definitely developed. The most challenging part to that was having to talk myself up, talk about how my business can be successful. When I didn't even know what success really looked like. I see it in my head, but how does that come out, right? And how do you convey that message of what you want to do? I'm a public speaker. I can talk in front of anybody. I have no problems with that. The hardest part for me was to pull out the why I'm doing what I'm doing and develop a platform off of that. Because initially it was I enjoy it. Well, great, you enjoy it, but what about it is it that you enjoy? How is that going to be a business? Once I found it, it was like everything clicked every week. It was by week 4, I think I was the why popped out. The facilitator, April, was awesome. Like, April's just a positive person. It's just super good to be around. But the other piece to that is her passion was what I felt like very comparable to my passion. And so as she's teaching this topic about making a business successful, I'm a student learning about starting a business to be successful and also to assist other people that are like-minded, wanting to do something maybe bigger and better than yourself to impact others. I loved the group project pieces. That was really helpful, being able to work in teams. The little projects we would do about comparison to one business model to another and how they would potentially be successful or not. I enjoyed the feedback that we got from everyone about each other's business. You converse with each other and import your business in a way mentally. How would this work for my business? How would this make my business successful? Or you provide a recommendation. And so those interactions were really cool. Helped develop me in that whole Pitch at Onslow process. At one point, it didn't really become a competition anymore. It just became let's make each other better. And that's really what I appreciated about Pitch at Onslow as well, was it didn't feel like a competition. The only time it felt like a competition was when we went to the social media vote as 25% of the overall points that you could achieve. You're asking all these people to just like this post, share this post, and tell people to like it. It was this weird, crazy dynamic of stress. And then when it was over, it was like at 5 p.m., all right, we're done. It was neat also through and behind the scenes, seeing the amount of information flow. All of us were able to create a 10-minute video for people to view and see what other entrepreneurs are doing in this area. So sure, it was just a like my page or like this post, but to me it was bigger. It was what normal Americans like me and yourself strive for on a daily basis. Ways to get better, create a better society. What better way to do that and a platform to do it on than to have all those videos as available to see what's going on in this community. It's powerful, the amount of support that happened for everyone. Leading up to the awards banquet, I legitimately did not think I would have placed. Based on the idea that my business, custom woodworking, is in some way, shape, or form not a stationary job. It's ever changing, the environment, the things that are being created, the people you have to communicate to. And when my name, Hucal Ponderosa Customs, was called as first place, that video of me going like mentally trying to say, wait, did I really just win this? It was actually kind of difficult to take in. It took me probably a week or so to actually process it because I go back to who am I? I've come up with this process in the way that I look at woodworking now because of pitching. I want to have the means and capability to impact change by just small pieces of woodwork that people have because it's positive. It makes them smile and it changes the environment they live in. And that's my impact. And that's how I get back to people, and that's how I can relate to the other businesses now. Because it's not about me. Like I have a skill set that I had within me, but I was able to somehow pull it out at some point or another and start creating things that, using my process of happiness, make you happy. That's fulfilling. And Pitch at Onslow really defined that aspect for me as a person, as a custom woodworker, but as a potential business owner. So there's multiple ways that Pitch at Onslow has impacted me. And just seeing the massive support through this whole process and the amount of doors that are available is astronomical. It's changed the heck out of me. It's definitively put me in a better place. We had a bunch of different business names that I would come up with. We had an older gentleman that lived down the street from us at our last house. And I had put our fence up, and it was a split rail. And he drove up one day and he says, anybody ever told you your house and your property looks like the Ponderosa? For a second, I'm like, what is he talking about? And then I said, like, Bonanza. He's like, yes, absolutely. I was in the same process of developing a name, and that guy said that. And so I knew I needed to include that. And Hucal Ponderosa Customs kind of just came to be. I wanted my business capability to have my name in it. It's mine. I own it. A friend of ours donate her work to creating my logo and the brand so that I can leave my mark legitimately on products that I create by branding my logo on there, still keeping the essence and the nature of that sweetness. As a business owner and a custom creator, my thought process is it's all about the customer because they're the one that's on the receiving end. And if I'm able to have a conversation, develop a sort of relationship, I can put a story. And that's how I remember each one of them, is because I create a story to everything I've ever made. It's never the same. No two pieces are the same. And that's what's cool. There's no human is the same. With woodworking, there's such a variety of ways to putting wood together. And you can, depending on what somebody wants, make it look a certain way. So what variables or what items do I call a variable? Like for you as a customer, right? So I hadn't even cut a piece of wood yet. And I'm just going through this design process. To me, that's a blast. But the best part of being a woodworker for me is the initial cuts and starting to see that item come together because it shows the beauty of all the hard work and effort. Like right now in an item that I'm working on, I have almost 9.5 hours of design time and I have yet to truly start creating the base. And what's great about that, I've created a portion of a piece of furniture that's my signature. And so there might be others out there that do similar things. I've never seen it, but I want to do something that Hucal Ponderosa Customs is essentially known for. This is a cutting board that was my first actual step in the direction of, can I do custom work for people? So this is a butterfly cutting board. First one I ever made, and I'll never get rid of it because of what this means to me. It shows me how far I've come and where I started. And being able to make something like this that's withstood the last 4 years. If I do a table setup somewhere and attempt to sell things, I take it with me. It's not for sale. I tell people that, but this is my capability. And being able to talk to them, not just seeing it, but talk to them about it in the process if they want to know. But there's about 7.5 to 8 hours of labor put into just creating this design and the process that goes along with it. When I was making things for myself, it was out of necessity, but also the ability to keep me occupied with things that I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed watching my wife and I be able to change our house, and I could make something that was ours for our house. And if I can make something that's ours for our house, why can I not sit down with somebody to create something for them for their house? That's really kind of where that evolved. Taking what makes me happy to provide for somebody else and make them happy. And I'm in the constant pursuit of happiness, right? How do I make myself happy? And that's what I've been doing, is to combat some of the military life things. This has stabilized me and my ability to stay healthy in many ways. It's definitely helped with my mental health. This has been exponential. And being able to create, I'm able to take some of my story and impart it into certain things. And if it's helped me, who else can it help? If I'm able to talk to one person about something, and even if they don't buy from me, if I can impress something on someone by a conversation, then I leave that going, that person's going to go do something great, and to me that's awesome. Impacting one today, influencing hundreds tomorrow. As people by nature, we don't like change, but with change comes better benefit. As I've gone through the Marine Corps and the skills, it changed me to be who I am today. And I put that same passion in pursuit of the things I make. Being able to take a rough cut piece of material that maybe to you looks like firewood, and I can take that piece, hone it down, do certain processes, and turn it into something that's of beauty, right? And so me seeing that transition from what's absolutely rough cut to a final product, but then seeing the smile on the face of the individual who purchased it, that's what's awesome. That fulfillment is why I do what I do.